Daijun Edwards from Colquitt County, one of the powerhouses in South Georgia football, has committed to the Dogs. Matt DeBerry, Dean Legge. This is not shocking news, Matt. I've been hearing about this um, since the fall, and now that he's in the boat, a four-star running back for the Dogs. A couple things happen here. That means at this stage, Zach Evans in Georgia are probably not going to happen, probably. And secondly, they're inching closer and closer to solidifying the number one class in the country.
Well, I do think the Zach Evans drama is over, at least for Georgia and the Georgia fans out there. We've been reporting for a while that Georgia wanted to add a second running back in this class, and I think Edwards is a guy who was higher on Georgia's board than people thought. He didn't talk about his recruitment that much, so he was kind of, under the radar, mostly from, a recruitment standpoint. But he is a solid four-star back. There's a lot to like. He doesn't have elite speed or that top-end speed to break off giant runs on a consistent basis, but he's got good vision. He's a tough runner. He's got some shiftiness to him, and he catches the ball really well out of the backfield. Watching his senior tape reminded me a little bit of Elijah Holyfield. Tough to bring down, good balance, vision, and he's a guy. He's good in short yardage situations, but it's not a sexy pickup. It's not a giant five-star guy, but he is a solid back. And coming from Colquitt County, he's one of those tough South Georgia kids.
Right.
Always good to have a few of those on your team. It's a good pickup. There's no doubt about that. He's not Zach Evans from a talent perspective, but it looks like that ship has obviously sailed with Georgia getting their second back, like we thought. We thought they wanted to get a second back. It was between Edwards and Evans, and Edwards apparently is the guy, and that's something that we've kind of been reporting for a few weeks now.
Well, we use plural words, but I mean plural. But you've been the person that's been the lead on this clearly, and have done a good job of making sure that people who watch our videos and listen to us on Dog Posts and get the understanding and insight have known this for some time. So, good job on this reporting. Generally speaking, about the getting two guys. Now, if you're Georgia, at this second, they will enter the fall with 85 scholarships. Of course, there's plenty left to play with on the scholarship board. And if you're listening to this or watching this, you might not really even care so much. It's so inside baseball. But now, the other thing too, Matt, you got 5 running backs. And 5 running backs that can play this fall. James Cook might not be a traditional running back, but he's maybe a scat back, a guy you can flex out in the slot or on, as a receiver. Zamir, Kenny McIntosh, Kendall, those guys are much more traditional backs. Where does Daijun, how does he fit into this for 2020 specifically?
For 2020 specifically, I don't think he's going to be playing a ton. I think he's really similar to Kenny McIntosh, maybe not as fast, but I think they're similar type of players. So if they needed a guy like that, I think McIntosh or Kendall Milton, who's a bigger bruiser type of back who also has really good speed, might get the advantage over him. So he's probably towards the bottom of that top 5 running backs, and that's fine. He is a freshman, but he's not. I don't think he's going to take carries away from Zamir, and I do expect a lot from Kendall Milton. I think you do too.
Yes.
And again, they're going to try to get Cook touches, maybe not carries, but touches, and get him involved in some way. So you never know on one of these big blowouts against an Arkansas State or whoever they are playing. We might see a little bit of Edwards, but I think there might be 4 guys ahead of him on when they suit up to play Virginia.
Well, it sure seems that way, but at the end of the day, if you're getting something in the neighborhood of Elijah, that'd be outstanding. Number one, but number two, you got to have depth in this league. If you don't have depth, you can forget it. And this program has gotten to the point where it's only about winning national championships. So clearly something that's not a national championship has been not a disappointing season, but this is one guy that adds everything adds up. And the question is, how does Edwards add up into helping Georgia get to where they want to go.
Well, I do think he could be an asset in the passing game. There's a lot of times, or especially last year, where Colquitt threw the ball to him, got him in space, and he did some nice things. So he does catch the ball well. I've seen that at camps, not on a Friday night, but I've seen him do it in a camp setting. And again, if he can show that toughness and be willing to pass block and get that part done, then who knows? We might see him on the field sooner than we expect him to right now. But again, a tough guy, tough runner. Does the little things well. He's got the vision that you want in a running back. He's got the balance. He's hard to bring down. He does a lot of things really well. Again, probably not a 5-star guy in people's eyes. Actually, he's not. But he's not as talented as maybe those elite running backs. But he's a guy who gets the job done. And if you're looking to take 2 running backs, he's definitely a solid, number 2, a guy behind Kendall Milton.
The other thing here too, as we go through this, this puts them right on the doorstep. Well, actually, they have the number 1 class consensus in the country now, and they have some guys to go. So it looks now like Georgia's going to have the number 1 class in the country.
I talked about it earlier in the video I made this morning. That'll be on YouTube. But with Edwards, that gives Georgia. They got 19 commitments. They've got 2 verbals, now 3 verbals. So that gets them to 22. So I think there's 2 spots left. One in the secondary. I think they want to bring in another defensive back. And then the other, I think, could either go to DJ Lundy, the 3-star linebacker, or Ladd McConkey, the 3-star wide receiver. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to click to subscribe. We'll see you over on Dog Post. Thank you for listening to us.